Howdy, welcome back to another fun-filled episode of the Unknown Secrets of Internet Marketing. I am your host, Matt Bertram. Today, I have a special guest for you, Jeff Holman. He's a business-focused attorney for innovation and entrepreneurs. He really helps you get the expertise right with like a fractional team. Some of the questions we're going to be going over are maybe how do fractional teams differ from traditional attorneys versus startups? A business strategy on how to drive growth, businesses' approach to intellectual property, how businesses could emerge, sectors and help manage legal challenges. So, like the benefits of maybe a fractional business model, and just kind of other obstacles. So, if you're interested in that, please stick around. I wanted to just do some quick housekeeping. We do have a new thumbnail. It's if you're watching on YouTube, Unknown Secrets of Internet Marketing. I got my face on it, I guess, because Chris is no longer involved. We have internetmarketingsecrets.com, Internet Marketing Secrets. We also have got that handle on YouTube, and we're going to be growing that area. If you do like this podcast, please like, follow, listen. The coaching program is coming. I just had a consulting call yesterday with a DJ that is built a empire, and we're generating leads all around the country. That's going to be a case study that we're going to follow. I also have some free courses that I'll be coming out with if you're wanting to become a power user with like data analytics or keyword research. I'll have that coming on internetmarketingsecrets.com. And now I would like to bring to the call Jeff Holman. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Matt.
So for everybody that's listening, just to kind of give everybody a time key, in Houston right now, it's absolutely like crazy snowing. And this is something that, around the country, people are like, oh, that's great. That's nice. You have some snow. In Houston, no one can handle it. None of the equipment. No one left their house for the last 3 days. Kids have been home. It's been a little bit of a zoo. And so for any of y'all that are listening in Houston, I just want to say, stay safe. Don't drive on those icy roads. But Jeff, I am so glad to bring you on because we've been doing a series to really arm, small business owners, and digital marketing agencies with all the right tools to help them. And that sometimes involves things outside of SEO. SEO should be the core. You layer on some digital marketing strategy. We have a small business package that actually absolutely just crushes it. And, but people have questions about other stuff when it doesn't work cookie cutter, right? When it doesn't work. And sometimes maybe there's difficult clients or you're trying to do different things, or people like, I'm actually dealing with something. This is super interesting. Not exactly what you're doing, but I think it's a good lead in. I have some law firms that I'm working with, and negative SEO is like still a thing, and people will throw bad links and mix up the signals to Google and the other search engines to help to hurt you because they can't like beat you. Does that make sense? And
Right.
I have some very competitive industries, and I have 2 clients right now that are getting attacked through this negative SEO, and typically like reputation management of like producing good reviews and good links to help kind of bury some of that bad stuff.
For sure.
This law firm, and this is like, I don't know if forensic SEO is like even a term, but essentially he's like, get me as close to the source as possible. We'll subpoena them. We'll find out who is doing this or purchased this or whatever, and we'll sue them. And I was like, awesome. I'm down. I'm here for it. And that's not something that I have any experience with, but I will shortly. And that's something that I was working on the last few days in some free time is developing that list to be able to
Very
go after
interesting.
people. And it was very empowering to be able to be like, we can do something about this, right? Like it is. And I hate when people don't compete fairly, but I think that legal is something that scares a lot of people, or people don't understand it. And, a lot of times you run against legal challenges or clients or vendors or whatever. Like, how do you deal with this when the contract, right, doesn't necessarily like you, everybody goes back to the contract when there's a disagreement, right? And so like, how do you handle that? And I think intellectual property too is like something that a lot of people like will come after you. Like they'll send you
Mhm.
notice you're using our stuff, right? I think there's kind of a money-making game out there for that. But
Yep.
also some of the compliance stuff that I was at a podcasting conference last weekend that we were talking about is how to use um, for educational purposes only, I guess is the answer. But if you want to talk about Star Wars, right, in some kind of marketing or example, how do you do that? And I've always just stayed away from it because it's just, anything legal scares me because I don't have those tools necessarily in the tool belt. And so I thought it'd be good to bring you on and kind of lay the groundwork for that. So that was a very long-winded intro, but hopefully people are interested, engaged, and to hear uh, what you have to say. Because I mean, you've really done some amazing stuff on the entrepreneurial side of things. You got a degree in electrical engineering, an MBA, U.S. patents. You've dealt with a number of legal frameworks, and then you also offer a fractional service, right? Like, so if people just need stuff here and there, you have a way to do that where someone doesn't have like a general counsel on staff. And so I just wanted to kind of tee you up and to offer it to you to kind of maybe set the table a little bit more of what we're going to be getting into here. So
Yeah, I'd love to do that. Thank you. And there was a lot in that intro and in that kind of lead up to this conversation. But that just to me is illustrative of the fact that legal, it really runs through every vein of your business in some format, right? Whether it's your branding and you're out there trying to market yourself, or you're getting attacked by somebody, or your contracts with your customers, your suppliers or partners, whoever that is, you're bringing investors in. It just runs through every vein of the business. So it really is. It's kind of, I don't want to call it lifeblood. That sounds maybe too too big for what it is, but it really is part of every part of your business, just like finance runs through all your business, right? So it is very important, and that's why so many people struggle with it, because it can become, any one part of your business. When a legal issue comes up, you can kind of get derailed and think, well, how do I got to focus on SEO, or I got to focus on serving my customers, or whatever it is. And now you're derailed by this one issue in this one area of law that you don't even want to deal with. So it's pretty, it's impactful when it's present, for sure.
I think like when I think about legal, like contractually, like you meet somebody and you're like, hey, I want to work with you, right? And oh, I want to work with you too. And so you want to work with each other, but until someone puts together an agreement of how that's going to work and what that's going to look like, it's hard to do anything with anybody, right? And so that's the initial basis to it. But then a lot of people are like, hey, well, people, I have a client right now that has a name that I think it's hard to copyright it, right, or whatever, or to put IP around it.
Trademarks,
But
yeah.
they're in a different market, so they're across the country. But there's somebody with that same name, different domain, but same name, different logo in this area. And then I actually had an old client that, and I've talked about this before, in like the roofing space, and everybody's like, it's Guardian, right? So like everybody wants to be a Guardian alarm
Yep.
system or a Guardian roofing company. And there was actually like 5 companies with the same name in the same geographic area. And, I was like, well, first we got to rank for your name, and we need to kind of control your name so people have that. And as we moved him up the rankings for his name, he was getting a lot of calls from other companies. And like, I think that like IP, or even if you're going on like a logo or likeness, what it really is that's not your brand. That's like who you are. Like
Mhm.
that's like the logo is the name of your company. Your IP is identifiable to you. And
Yeah.
and what you're trying to say is, this is me and this is what I'm doing. And you're really just trying to kind of keep the copycats trying to create some space, right? So if you generate interest, they know that they're finding you. Is that, I don't know if
Yeah.
that's a good
No,
explanation.
no, it's great. I mean, we deal with a lot of small and growing businesses, and the value of their trademark, their brand protection, really is huge, right? you can look up studies and it'll say, well, anybody who's got a registered trademark, the valuation of your company is actually higher than all the companies that are like it that don't have registered trademarks. It multiplies the value of your company from a financial standpoint. And it's because it's what you said, right? People want to, that's how they identify you. That's how they know you. That's how they, in the legal field, we say that's how they source their goods or services.
Okay.
That's the identifier of the service they're buying, or whether it's roofing or pest control or security, like that is how they identify you. And so I think you're absolutely right. That's the business's identity. There's a lot. I talk with a lot of clients about trademark stuff, so we go into that in more depth if you want to. But really finding the right name, one that you can protect and one that doesn't conflict with other people. That's an early stage challenge for businesses.
Yeah, and let me also provide another example of something where we've interacted with say trademarks. Google ads, okay? Like running ads on people's names or Google
Mhm.
ads, that stops people from maybe doing that. One of the things we did in the supplement business, so the former co-host, we've grown a supplement company quite big, and
Okay.
the three other partners that started this agency are all working in that business, and we kind of did a Red Bull situation where we created our own market, and then people came into that market. And to
Cool.
kind of protect that, what we did is we kind of renamed our product, and put a copyright on that. And then everything that we talk about and that we promote is related to that product name, like a
Mhm.
tissue versus a Kleenex, right? And so we're growing that market and we protected that market. So the overall market's growing, but that market is protected, and we're able to talk about that and promote that, and nobody else can really go after that. And so that created some space that as we continue to grow the industry, people are protected in that area. And also the formulation, right? So we're to
Yeah.
talk about maybe patents a little bit, how we mix our product and what that product mix looks like. um, that's our formulation, right?
Yeah.
And I'll the example to bring in patents that I remember from marketing. So I went to school for marketing and everything, was Lego. Okay.
Mm.
Lego lost its patent. Okay. And anybody can make those little Lego blocks. Okay. And then you just start to see the Lego movie come out, and I mean, like the Star Wars
Yeah.
partnership, and they partnered with Marvel and Disney and like everything, because that is IP protected, like
Mhm.
intellectual property. The Legos are not. So then they're customizing Legos to make that set, and that helped extend their patent, right? And
Oh.
I would even say, I was in the pharma industry, which people have different opinions of that. But when the drug formulation went off patent, they patented the delivery system of the device. So like Advair,
Mhm.
it's like the disc device is patentable, but budesonide, what's in it, is not, right? And you can get that in a inhaler, but they continue to promote this product with this disc device of the delivery system's better, and they protect it. And I mean, I'm just trying to give people real world examples of like how to think about some of this stuff. Maybe you can kind of bring those big examples in to situations that you deal with maybe small businesses.
Yeah, no, you've given a great example because I always talk to my clients and audiences about the layers of intellectual property. You've already mentioned copyrights. Copyrights protect a work of art. A painting or a sculpture or a movie, whatever it might be. Sometimes that overlaps with trademarks. Trademarks protect your brand. It's your name, your logo, your slogan, whatever that is. And so, but then you have the inventions in your business, perhaps, and one product that you invent. You've given an example of drugs. You can invent all around that product. You could patent the drug itself. You could patent the way to make the drug. You patent the way to deliver the drug. You patent the accessory devices that go along with the drug. And so you get all of these layers of intellectual property that and back in your business, you might have all these trade secrets. All of the
Like
economic.
processes, like people, I know,
Exactly.
there's a whole business about building processes and then actually selling it to, Cisco, or selling it to, like, I remember that guy, he sold like 12 patents for $15 million to Netflix, and he designed the process around Netflix, you should be doing this. And you designed it all around that. I mean, it gets kind of wild, but I think that that's where an opportunity is. And I mean, maybe even in the digital marketing space, there's certain things that I do that is kind of a trade secret, right?
Yeah.
And it's how we do it, in what order does these certain types of things with the signals, right? And and it's like, do you make it public, right? And then people copy it, and then you have to protect it, or
Hmm.
do you do the Coca-Cola thing? Is like no one knows exactly
Keep it
what's in
secret.
it, right? But making all those kind of decisions gets you stuck, you know?
Well,
Like,
but you're in the right industry, right? Because this is a conversation I have, and I have it from the legal perspective.
yeah,
But when you're talking about releasing your IP to the public, you want to. There's this whole debate about what you should disclose to the public and what you should keep secret. But then there's also this debate in trademarks. How do I pick a name that's protectable and unique, but not so unique that nobody knows what I do, right? And so
yeah,
the
yeah.
the key to a lot of this is teaming up with a good marketing team, so that when you're building your product or service, like you can make these informed decisions. And IP is one slice of your strategy, but you've got to have that marketing slice too, to kind of fill in the gaps and make them complementary to whatever it is that you're doing in your business.
And I think that the fractional model, because I actually come on fractionally with a lot of businesses when they're trying to figure out a marketing strategy, or like, this is what we're trying to do or launch, and like they don't need me full time, but they're like, hey, we're going to do this and we want to stay out of the ditch. Well, there's many times on the legal side, you're trying to make decisions that are business decisions, and you're like, hey, I don't know which way we should go. We could go
Yeah.
right, we could go left. What does everybody think, right? Like, if you're talking to other founders, or you're talking to your team, but it's like, we need a legal perspective to help tell us what to do. And sometimes they just assign it to a team member to like go do a bunch of research and tell us what you think, or now ask ChatGPT, which it could hallucinate. And
Yeah.
so, like, it's really good to just phone a friend that's the right friend. Like, I would tell you, like, the fractional business, like even like Uber. I remember when I was paying somebody $20 to take me to the airport. Hey, buddy, like, it's a friend. Hey, when you do it, like, I'll pay you. And then it was actually like, you had to use like social capital to like, hey, will you take me to the airport? Because it's like not that convenient. But
Yeah.
now it's like, you just kind of can reach out conveniently and tap and get someone to take you to the airport. Just like, I think that everything's becoming very kind of gig economy, fractionalized. Hey, I need you for this one specific thing. Can you provide me some advisory consulting, and just tell me what should I do in this situation, right? And it's really, I think, as you're building in today's day and age, having the right network, right? Knowing
Oh,
the right people, that's like, oh, I got this problem. Let me pick up the phone because I know who I need to call. And then they have a model that where you can tap like their knowledge to help you make that decision to move forward, because some of these things will get you stuck. It'll
oh,
just
yeah.
freeze up businesses. I think the biggest thing I see, you know.
For sure. It just brought to mind, because the one thing we do differently than a lot of fractionals, you find independent people that are bringing that high level expertise to the team, right? We do it because law is both a mixture of really high level strategy, decision making, and then the implementation. Like, you got to write the contract, you got to, apply for the trademark or help get the funding in. It really becomes our team approach allows people to kind of hire once. Nobody likes to hire an attorney ever, it seems, let alone pay them for the work they do. And you don't want to do it twice or three times when you have different issues come up. So this team approach that we're doing really helps people to bring everything into one hire, I would say. Go through that process once, and then get a team that has a breadth of expertise, different attorneys, they can help with different things. It really made me think of last summer. I took a trek with some friends, and we went to hike Mount Kilimanjaro. I actually got helicoptered off for health reasons a day before my friends made it up there. But when we went, you hire this team of porters and guides. You got people making the food, you got people bringing up the bathroom or the shower if you brought that. You got people that are carrying all your bags, you got the guides who are watching your health. You need that whole team, right? And so you could go hire one by one, hey, I'd like to find this guy to help carry my bags and find this guy. But why do that, right? So it's really a team effort to get up that mountain. And in the same sense, we're bringing that legal team so that businesses have the right expertise from the right attorney at the right time.
Well, let me add on to that, because I can tell you how I view the world. And I'm
Love it.
looking at this from a similar model on the accounting side of things. Okay.
Mm.
Like legal and accounting are like the two things that you need.
Yeah.
One is, yeah, if you lose somebody, you got to backfill a position. Certainly if you have just a consultant or a contractor, they may or may not be available. They may or may not get back to you, but being part of a service that has people at all levels, they worry about the hiring and the right people, and they have people at all levels of the team approach,
Mhm.
and you know what you need. And in my mindset, just the guys, this is where I'm at is, are you ready to really grow your business? Okay. Like that's what it comes down to. And there's a lot of people that could do the job, and there's a lot of people that could do the job cheaper, but and I don't even know what your pricing is. I'm just saying in general, typically like, but I can tell you in SEO, okay, I can tell you in digital marketing, you can go spend a bunch of money, okay, at someone cheaper, and it's not an investment. You just blew the money,
Yep.
okay? Like doing it right the first time is like the cheapest absolute thing that you can do. But my mindset where I'm at is like, all right, I'm ready to scale. I'm ready to grow. Like, I don't want to see problems, and I don't want the way in which we do things to reflect our brand. Because everybody, if you're doing, accounting, sales, whatever, like it's all reflective of the health of your company. And if you're ready to like grow your company and make moves, like you need a professional team. Like, yeah, you could hire me, and I'm actually dang good at SEO.
Yeah.
But SEO takes a village. Okay. Like I can't do everything. There was even something last night. So I had a client ask me about something, and he's like, really wanted something. And I was like, I can't get this done with all this snow and my kids home and everything like that. So I assigned it to our SEO manager that I have
Mhm.
people overseas. I have people here. I have people everywhere. And I was like, hey, I need this by 6 a.m. tomorrow, and like explained what to do. And I've been working with this person for 5 years, and I gave it to him, and you know what? In my inbox, it was there. I could look at it, filter it, get it to the client and deliver it like from a team capacity. Or, there's things on IT or something like that that I may not be, I know a little bit about, but I don't know everything about. You need that team to access that. And if you're trying to build an organization that's trying to make big decisions, not always is all the information in one person's head
Oh,
and at
for sure.
different levels, right? And so to kind of fractionally pay for what you need, engage in that area. But I guess just where I'm at mentally, the wavelength I'm on is like, I want a team because, yeah, I want to hire once because you said
Mhm.
that. And I think that that is absolutely critical. And then two is like, some of the questions I'm going to have are going to be down here, right?
Yep.
And then
Yep.
some of the questions I have are going to be up here. And that person may not be the best person for that, right? And you have different people that have different experience. Like some of the questions could be legal compliance stuff. Like I come up with
Mhm.
like HR and legal compliance stuff all the time about this little thing, that little thing. And we have actually a service for HR too, right? Like, so, not, and I've had HR people, but then they're like, oh, let me go do a bunch of research. And then they're like guessing, right? I
Yeah,
even
yeah.
had
Yep.
a
Yeah.
bookkeeper at one point that was like, oh, you're not going to qualify for PPP or ERC or whatever. And I was like, I'm pretty sure we do. Like, you know what I mean? And,
Yep.
like having the right team versus like an independent person that has a limited knowledge base is not what you need when you're scaling a company, because what you want is people to help you, not
Right.
things to kind of create those obstacles. And I mean, I know you're not specializing in business contracts, but legal, like you said, runs all the way through your business. And understanding, uh to your point, the patents and IP add to the IP and add to acquisitions, like you have some kind of value in
Right.
your company, right? Like we have a bunch of
Yeah,
knowledge in our
they're
company,
assets.
right? We have computers in our company. Like but like intellectual assets, right?
Yeah.
Is a, can you talk maybe a little bit more about intellectual assets and give maybe some small business examples and medium-sized business examples?
Yeah, for sure. Let me first say, I like that you said that you're not cheap. We're not cheap. We're not the cheapest either, right? You gotta pay for the right service.
Cheap is really,
Cheap is really expensive.
it's not a commodity. It's not, you can't compare
Mm-mm.
apples to apples and oranges to oranges. Like, it's not that way. It's the overall value. But like, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that's cheap out there, but it doesn't mean it's good. It doesn't mean
Right.
it's helpful for you. It doesn't mean it's right, but it's cheap.
Yeah.
I don't, yeah. So I think it's about value creation. It's not about cost. And does this value match with what you're trying to achieve? Right.
Yeah.
And I would just tell you, the fractional way to go is you use what you need, right? And you can
Exactly.
scale it up and down. And so you get good advice and you pay for just what you need. Like,
Right.
I don't think there's not a better model,
And you
so
and you plug the right people in for the right problems.
yes.
As you said, my background is very patent IP heavy. I've got other people on my team who'll do contracts, they'll do fundraising, even litigation if people get into that. So we want to plug the right people in for the right problems that our clients have. So that's that, and getting through the bottlenecks. There's time bottlenecks, there's knowledge bottlenecks.
Yep.
Those are important parts of what we do. To your question though, you asked about intellectual assets. I mean, anything that you're doing that falls into those categories I mentioned before, copyrights, trademarks, patents, trade secrets. And I would even add a fifth category. It's not technically IP, but the contracts that you're putting in place around that IP. Who owns it? How do people use it? Can you license it out? All that type of stuff. That to me, those five categories we'll call it, those are all your IP or your intellectual assets. And so those can drive value. They're protecting the innovative parts of your business. And studies that or reports that have come out recently say that, I think this is probably mostly applicable to these large international corporate bodies, 84 to 90% of the value of the company. And we're talking just like, if you put, you look at the total value of the company in the market, 84 to 90% of that value is held in the intellectual assets. Now, it might not be quite the same number for smaller businesses, but small businesses, I don't think it's that far off, because you look at a smart person with a smart team around them, they come up with what appears to be a good idea in a large market, and they'll be like, well, we're raising money at a $10 million valuation. What do you have? Well, we have this great idea and this great team. The fact that you have a team and an idea, and you can start protecting that, like it's a $10 million dollar idea. That's the full value of your business right there, is placed on intellectual assets.
How would you say brand fits into it? Because if you look at like Coca-Cola or, some of these things, they certainly have assets, or,
Yeah.
anything in fashion, shoe company, Adidas, whatever. Like, there's that brand of that emotional connection of what people think about when they think of that brand. They put a dollar for Trump, right? Well, we just had
Yeah.
the inauguration. I mean,
Yep.
based on how he feels his brand is worth, like that's how what his net
He'll
worth is,
he'll
right?
he'll raise $50 million overnight, or 50, whatever it was, $50 billion. What was his coin that just came out?
Yeah. He is. I mean, he's doing some crazy things, and a lot of people are left, right, and center what's happening. But
Sure.
certainly he raises it based upon his name
Mhm.
and what that does, and that does have power. And so I really do think that IP and brand, and I think maybe brand even falls under that intellectual property in some capacity. I mean, how do you see those two working together?
Well, I wouldn't limit brand to just the IP, right? I think IP is
Yeah.
the way IP is the mechanism that you use to protect your brand, the parts of your brand that you can protect, and that's names and logos, and maybe the look and feel of your business, the artistic style of your business with copyright. Like, you use IP as tools around the brand that you've built. Your brand is so much more than that, though. Your brand is, you
Yeah.
know, different definitions. It's how people see you in the market, right? It's how they trust you for for the service that you're providing. So, but IP is important to protect that, and other people will have their own brand, and they'll come after you sometimes if they feel like their brand is being infringed, their IP that protects their brand.
Let me give you 3 examples that I deal with, and if there's any
Yeah.
web developers out there, I know there is listening, and agencies, um, websites, okay, images and
Hmm.
photos, okay, and understanding the contracts. I can tell you, when I was starting to use contractually or
Hey, Matthew, I don't know if you can hear me, but you're frozen on my end.
Hey, Jeff, I'm so sorry. My internet is out. Um, are you there? Well, so I'm going to make some edits to this. But for everybody listening, I was having some technical issues. I guess the snow, my internet's been in and out. Actually, my last interview was having some issues as well. I've been looking at getting the Starlink. I think it might be time to pull the trigger on that. But hopefully, you've enjoyed this episode so far. I do think I'll probably have Jeff back on. I think we're having a great conversation. And I think he offers a lot from navigating legal challenges for startups and growing businesses, effective business strategies for success, intellectual property strategies for protection and growth. And he's got this fractional business model which I think is very flexible. And overcoming obstacles in business development and legal challenges, I think is really, really important. Jeff, you there? So I might lose him again due to the internet. But what I can tell you is images. You want to make sure you own your images. You want to make sure you're not using any images that other people own, or there's law firms out there that will come after you. I would tell you photography too. Really important. So those images, if it's graphic design, make sure you get the source file. Photography, make sure you get all the images. If you pay them to do it, they give you the images. Many times they'll license the images to you, a free royalty image, but they own them all and they can do anything with them. You just want to read the contracts in that regard. And there's a lot of little legal compliance issues, this and that. Um, but I will definitely have Jeff back on. I do want to get you this podcast all kind of edited out. Unfortunately, that happened. We are starting a business coaching program. We'll probably move it over to another site, but MatthewBertram.com right now. You can find out more information. Please reach out to us if you have any interest. If you want to grow your business with the largest, strongest, most powerful tool on the planet, reach out to eBayR for your business. We're doing a lot of stuff with ranking people in the large language models like ChatGPT. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to do some more training there. Um, until the next time, if you like this, please share it. But bye bye for now. And